Comedian Pablo Francisco is coming to El Paso. The veteran comic was once one of the hottest names in comedy. He's had some ups and downs in his career, but he continues to be a national touring comic. Now, I chatted with him the last time he was in El Paso. So here's our conversation. A word with Pablo Francisco.
You ever listen to Spanish radio? All the DJs sound like Dracula. Hola, ¿cómo está? Hice mucho tráfico esta mañana. Uno accidente.
All right, so Pablo, you've been making people laugh for 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
I'm always interested in talking to veteran comics about how you keep it going and how the craft itself continues to inspire you to still want to do it.
It's it's a little bit of the reaction of the people, but when you just get on a flow, it's like a style. If you have that style that people like, some people, I like to stick to a style that never gets old, and there's a lot of topics out there, and that I've talked about, but then again I want to go back to them because that topic has a lot of things to it, so it's and it's also alcohol, because when people booze it up, they get the laugh, so it's they get a little loose.
So really, is it, just like any other performer, you're drawn by the audience? The fact that you're up on stage, it's that intoxicating?
Yeah, there's an energy that comes from the crowd, and when you have something in common with the audience, that's when it gets good, because everyone, we go through the same stuff, the internet, social media and stuff, but it's always, it's always fun to make, fun of storage wars. There you go. Anything can be, I want to buy that. He buys people's storage. If you've wanted storage wars, what you do is just have a yard sale, have your friend on cocaine, auction off everything. Oh, there's so much reality shows in reality. For real. So it's everything needs to be made fun of to a certain point. So that's what I'm here for.
So that's what you do. That's how you live your life, is always being observing all those.
Oh, absolutely. And you just write it down on your hand, and right there, and just look at the hand and say, all right, we've got something here. Okay, and just write your jokes down, and just keep writing, keep making it kind of fresh, and listen to the audience. If they have a request, we go back to the old hits, and the classics, of course. Man.
Does it still excite you to sort of like work a bit out and like to have it evolve? Is that still?
Oh yeah, that sometimes can get a little difficult, because I want to do things on Vegas, but everyone talks about slot machines. I'm just trying to figure out what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and it's like, I got a haircut there, and that part of my hair stayed in Vegas, but
I can pick up chicks at a techno club with this haircut.
Hi, I'm Julie. Let's party. Come on, let's do it.
But anyhow, I lost in Vegas. I can casino money. There you go. But other than that, it's always and you always got friends of yours who are in the business as well, so you can get ideas from them, and so it all kind of works out.
And so if I get your history, you grew up in like the Phoenix area, I think is where you were from, right? You're Chilean.
Yeah, my parents are from Chile, and I'm from Craigslist. No, but no. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, and born and raised there, and then I got a little bit of German extract in me, so went to Los Angeles, and now I take I jump on the Latino bandwagon sometimes, and it's a beautiful thing. So no Pablo Español, but learning here and there. But it's just basically right here, right by you guys, 4 hours away, driving, and it's a beautiful thing.
So at what point are you I guess you're probably a funny guy, probably growing up, and at some point you decide to strike it out and head to LA.
Right.
And then just in terms of the comedy scene, you must have been in your early 20s?
Yeah, I was 19 years old, and it was basically a hobby that became a career, I guess, because it's for fun, but usually that's what happens. And now it's the opportunities for people right now to take their hobbies and make it a career is great, because you got YouTube out there, and so you can be that star for 15 minutes and have people from other countries see you, and just even if you're drunk on stage. But anyhow, boink. It's.
Maybe we'll get to that. But let me ask you first. Let's get back to, because it's no small thing what you did, which was in a very crowded scene 20 years ago. Although I guess the comedy scene has had its ebbs and flows. But if I'm not mistaken, you were passed at the Comedy Store, right? Isn't that?
I was passed at the Comedy Store.
That's a big deal.
No, that was a big deal, and it was great. To see Mitzi Shore say, you work out here, and then I hooked up with the Improv there as well. So I became friends with all the clubs there, and basically I said, you know what? It's like it's like a dream come true, because when you can be a star, you can get paid like a star, but you don't have to be a big star, and stuff like that. So it's like, when you pass at the Comedy Store, that was a big thing, and I prepared for it, and it all just when you think about it first, and then you prepare for it, and you get there, it all comes together.
So then, at some point, you sort of achieve what a lot of people want in the comedy scene, is that you are a stand-up working comic in LA, and then you get cast on Mad TV.
Get cast on Mad TV.
Make a big splash there.
Listen, Jody, put down the phone. They're trying to kill you.
Yeah, it was just watching the TV show, and they had like guest spots of comics on there. So I decided, well, why not just send a demo of just me doing stand-up, so they can have me do stand-up. But they ended up saying, hey, you want to stay, for a few episodes? And I said, sure. Yeah. And from that point on, I just went on to write for like NFL Films and write a bunch of commercials, and just wrote a few Subaru commercials, and it's all working out, and it's fun. It's a fun thing when you get paid. They'll fly you in, they'll pay for your drinks, and they'll put you up in a nice little hotel.
And then you went on the Three Amigos tour.
Three Amigos.
We had Freddie Soto from El Paso.
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
A fantastic comedian who passed away.
Excellent, yeah.
I mean, what was that like, that tour? It was you, Carlos Mencia, and Freddie Soto.
I learned a lot from Carlos Mencia, man. He's one of the best comedians out there, and I would say that I've never seen anyone would change up a show so much, and I'd say he's probably my #1 top comedian right now. He always takes something and makes it fresh, and he's sharp as a tack when it comes down to it, and I love him very much. And he's just he goes, "You're gonna learn, okay? Quit being stupid. Quit being stupid." And me and Freddie could not keep up with him. He was just he's too powerful, just too much of a great person. So. Mentos.
Yeah.
Right on.
And Freddie was he a good...
Freddie was great, man. The authenticity of his act was hilarious, and even off stage, he was like he was always saying, "What's up, bro? How you doing, bro?" Yeah, okay, bro. And really positive, and he had his daughter and stuff, and I haven't talked to them since then. Magic Al keeps in touch with them, but I want to make sure that when I get out, from here to El Paso, because I was thinking about Freddie when we were driving by his house. I was going, "That's where Freddie." But God bless him, and hopefully we'll see him again.
Well, you guys were in the Comedy Store at the same time, I would imagine. Right?
Yes, we were. Yeah, it was great, man, because having Carlos Mencia, just learning. You learn from this guy all the time, and it just his transitions and how he, manipulates, how he jumps out of it, and how he talks to the audience and stuff. It was really good watching him.
I opened for you and did that joke in the rooms you performed in.
I was doing that joke before.
No, you weren't.
Yes, bro.
Absolutely not.
What say you about the accusations that Carlos had to endure in terms of the Joe Rogan?
Well, yeah, there really was no case when it came to that, because look what they went after him. Carlos walked up on stage, and there's no way in the world Carlos hacks. I toured with him for 3 years. I would know that, and they show similarities of him doing a Bill Cosby bit. And the things that you have to understand is that when you're filming a special, there's 2 shows, right? And so Carlos will go out and mess around, and someone yelled out, "Do Bill Cosby joke," and that's what he did. And they took that and they tried to make it to a hacking thing. It's like going and seeing a band and go, "Brown-eyed girl," and they just play "Brown-eyed girl," and they took that, and he's not even for 3 years. I hung out with a guy, 36 months. I didn't hack one thing. It was the same topics, but that's everyone, that's just parallel development, so really no case. "You're fat, your name is Ned." No case.
Right.
Yeah.
So why those accusations of plagiarism, though, seem to tank his career? I mean, no, he's still a working comic. He's out there, and I've talked to him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in terms of where he was, those took a big bite out of his career.
Well, it took a big bite because people wanted to believe it, and I took Carlos, I took him to the Comedy Store he goes, you tell me that when I leave, you tell me who's talking crap about me. So I did, and he went right up to the person, goes, "What?" And the guy accused him of taking jokes, and Carlos put him right in his spot and goes, "Hey man, you've been doing this for 3 years, and you can't even open, and I got that topic too." He's totally respectful, and he's writing like crazy, in pads and pads of paper. And it did take a bite, because you know what? Everybody wanted they wanted to put something on their imaginary stepping stone. All right, I feel good about that, but look at you. Are you a comic? You putting down Carlos? You think he's doing your stuff? No, he's not doing your stuff. You can take Carlos, you can put him in a room with any comic, badass comic, and he will either beat you or beat you. Yeah, Mitzi Shore and Pauly Shore would not have him there if he was hacking, and he doesn't hack. He would take something of mine, and I would ask him. He was, let me show you how I would do it, and he would do it, and people would take it like, oh, he's doing your stuff. I go, no, man, we have an agreement. I want to see how he would do my.
Works it out.
Yeah, and so a lot of people, that's the way they took it. So it's all a bunch of smeeking, creaking, smucky crux.
What do you make of the fact that the Comedy Store, I mean, I was in LA, I lived there at a time when it would be pretty empty most of the time. You'd get some weekend crowds.
Right.
But now the Comedy Store is sold out Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night.
Oh yeah, because we got 3 rooms going there, and there's also Melrose Improv, which it's a fantastic room there too, because you can just, when you fly into LA, the first thing you got to do is go, I want to see who's at the Improv, who's at the Comedy Store, who's at the Laugh Factory, because you get the food, it's a ball of fun, and you get to touch the stars, I guess. But
so is it a renaissance in comedy in your?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Comedy.
It's Oz, I would say. It's beautiful. So I can't be more blessed, than just living down the street from those places. So if you're a comic, give it a shot.
You can actually watch girls dance naked while you eat. And there's always probably that one guy who gets there early with a big old belly. Hey. Wearing sweatpants.
Hey, how you doing? Is Alexis here, and what's the soup of the day?
A reality, though, is hitting the road, though. I mean, and being a road dog, right, for stand-up comics. I mean, that's...
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, but right now, man, it's like, it's so easy to get around now. Some people's traffic is 4 hours in traffic. Mine's on a plane, and I land, I get out, and there's a hotel, and I have friends there in the city. So it's being a road dog, that was back in the day when a road dog is a person who's not funny and who's on the road a lot.
Oh, I see.
That's what a road dog is to me. Hey, I'll sleep in my car, headline me. Hang out with other funny people, make connections, be as honest as you possibly can, and don't get drunk and fall off stage.
Hold on, folks, sir. Please, hold on. Step over there real quick. I'm gonna get myself out of this. How many people right now think I can't get my shit out of this?
Talk about that in Sacramento.
So went to Sacramento.
What happened in Sacramento?
Oh yeah, got bunnied before. I thought the show was at 8. Got there at 7. But I was on there, and I thought I had my shoes in my bag, and I went up there, and I didn't have my shoes in there. So I'm on stage. I'm uncomfortable because I broke my collarbone about 2 years ago, and I fell off stage. And when that pain in my arm, and I was just trying to save the show. And I was like, well, man, but did they have to zoom in on my bald spot? Huh?
Hold on for a minute. Hold on. We're not getting off stage right now. Yeah, hold on.
They took me to the hospital, and they released me like in an hour. And they go, okay, you can go.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay. So I apologized and went to a rehab clinic. And then when I went in there, I just wrote a bunch of commercials and made some good money.
Yeah.
So other than that, no more booze. Because I say they took me to AA, and I had to go to AAA. There you go, kid. But other than that, I thank the punchline and everything else, and we're back on track, and we're moving on. And sorry for the 40 people that were there, but they were good sports, and that's it.
But does that reflect on how tough it can be?
Well, hey, it's like people came and saw the show, and that's what they saw. But a lot of people, but it makes people kind of happy to see that kind of. I can easily take it down, but I just go, hey, man, there's some other things to it, but it's what it is that you watch it and you just go, hey man, it's funny. I have Kramer up there trying to help me out. I'm going, oh my God, my arm's killing me, But I'm trying to ninjutsu it, and I go, hey, but the guy who puts it up there, obviously, he thinks he's some kind of reporter guy. But like I'm saying, have fun with it, man. But hey, that's the way it is. And people, hey, it's hard to watch, and I go, hey man, I'm here, I'm alive. It's okay, man. Mentos, and pull the drugs out of it too. What drugs? Drugs? Okay. Booze? Yes, booze. I was talking like Bill Cosby. But other than that, we're right on track and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if it was me that was out making people laugh in bars, I would be. I would have been in the ground 20 years ago. The temptation is too intense.
Well, hey, like I'm saying, it's like basically if you're going to mourn someone's death, I shouldn't have went I should have go to church instead of the liquor barn, So there was some things to it, but I was forgiven, and things move on, and life is good.
And here you are in El Paso, a place that you're very familiar with in terms of, like you said, you grew up 4 hours from here, but this is like a stop that you make.
Oh yeah.
As you connect with audiences, nationwide, but then there's like those regional pockets that you really make an impact with.
Oh yeah, it's basically when you put yourself out there and people watch it, it's kind of overwhelming because I just got back from the Baltics and Poland and Croatia, and it's sold out, man. I can't believe it. Just for putting 6 minutes on YouTube, and if people like it, download it. I don't care, man. As long as it makes you happy, I am just fine with that, man.
Is it still, final question here, is it still something for you, Pablo, to think about? Or do you ever, I mean, I would imagine that you do, if you look at it philosophically, like, your job is to make people happy, and then you elicit a physical response, laughter.
I know it's, but the people who come to my show are just as funny as that I put out, because really? I don't even call them fans. I call them, we're a bond, because they come up to me after the show and they do the noises and stuff, and it's hilarious, and that's why I think that everyone should give it a shot, and the money that I make from it, goes to good things, it helps people with cancer and soldiers, and it's all good, man. It's a fun thing, but I'm Mr. Funny. It's like, if the vibe's right, then we'll get it right and rock and roll with it. But right here in El Paso, it's feeling good. Right on, man. Thank you. Right on, brother.